Hi folks, summer fragrance haul for you today. Stay tuned. I'm Chris, you're watching FRAG-MENTAL, thank you for joining me. Yes, I've been shopping. Inside this box are a few summer fragrances that I've been meaning to pick up for a little while now. All of these I have smelled, only in store, off strips. So some of them I can remember, some of them I can't quite remember, but I do remember enjoying all of them, so not a complete blind buy. And a lot of these fragrances consistently get very positive reviews. I know at least two of them in here made my good friend George the Fragrance Apprentice's 10 out of 10 fragrances list, so I'm looking forward to smelling those. As I say, I have smelled them in store, but I can't really remember them all that well. All right, let's dive in. So I bought all these from the fragrance shop. The reason I bought them was they had a sale on, so I'd had these fragrances in mind. I was just waiting till one of the websites that I use had a sale. This one had 20% off, so I thought good enough time to pull the trigger. So it's the fragranceShop.co.uk. First one I've got here is Prada Long. Yes, I do know Prada Long. I have had smells in store whenever I've gone in, and I love the whole line actually, but haven't smelled it for a little while. Just needed to add it to my collection. Really enjoyed it every time I've smelled it, and it's one that I do recommend to people for a safe, pleasant office style scent. So I thought it was about time I owned a full bottle. I think I had a perfume parlour clone of this actually. So let's have a little spray, just remind myself of it. One thing I do love about these Prada fragrances, the Prada Long fragrances, the bottles I think are amongst the best presentation of designer fragrances. I absolutely love them. So I've just gone for 50 ml of these fragrances. I know it's more cost effective to go for 100 ml, but I'm never going to use all that juice, and the 50 ml were cheaper. Okay. So one thing I think about with this fragrance is people rave about it, but they always say it smells clean and safe and mass appealing. And I always think, does that not mean boring? Well, no, it doesn't. It is safe and clean and mass appealing, but done in probably about the best way you could get that combination. I find it's got depth. I don't find it boring. I think it's one of those fragrances where less is more, perhaps. That is really good. Yeah, I'd forgotten how good this was. I'm very happy that I've added this. I'm probably going to do more reviews of these down the line. I'll revisit all these fragrances and let you know what I think about them once I've tried them on skin. You know when you want to wear a scent that's just very easy to wear, but interesting and very satisfying to wear at the same time? I think that's Prada Long. Yes, really enjoying that. Okay, looking forward to giving that some full wearings. So I also, let's get rid of all this rubbish, bought the brother of Prada Long, Prada Long Low. Now I did have a sample of this, which I used up because I absolutely loved it. I remember wearing this for work on a couple of occasions. I think I got a few compliments off it as well. I just remember thinking, it's like Prada Long, but with more lemon, more citrus. So let's see, having just smelt Prada Long, if it still reminds me of that. Remember this being a very gentlemanly, elegant citrus scent. Again, fantastic bottle. So I get more iris, I think, from this one, as well as the citrus. And it's lemony. So it's a fresher, more citrusy take on Prada Long, but it's still got plenty of body to it. It's still got density to it, which I really like. The freshies that I like the best are the fragrances that have a depth as well as a freshness. I think if it's just freshness and not a lot of depth. They don't last very long, and they're fine. You know, they're nice and light, refreshing fragrances to wear. Oh, this has got that nice classic citrus cologne style to it as well. This is better than I remember it actually. It reminds me a little bit of maybe Dior On Sport, along those lines. Iris and citrus. Maybe a little heavier than Dior On Sport. I don't know, I'll have to try those two out together. But I'm just so looking forward to wearing this now through the summer months. And if I like it, maybe it will make the summer list. Who knows? That is really good. If you've not tried Prada Long, oh, that is beautiful. Really looking forward to getting that on skin. Got two more brothers here. I'm gonna go for this one first. So I own a few from the Dior online. I own a few from Dior. I have Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum. I have Dior Homme Intense. I have Dior Homme Parfum. I have Dior Homme Sport. I have Sauvage EDT, EDP. You know what? I think Dior is the designer fragrance house that I own the most from, which I think says something about the quality of their fragrances. This is Dior Homme Eau. Now, I don't know if... Oh, it's aftershave lotion. Is this the right thing? I bought the right thing? Lotion? Is that right? Okay. Yeah, no, this looks good. So George gave this 10 out of 10 recently in his video. I'm not sure if there have been reformulations or if this is the same smell as when it originally came out. I have smelled this in store. This is a splash on. Okay, there wasn't another option on the site and the bottle didn't look like a splash on bottle, but oh well, there we go. I didn't even know they did a splash on version of this. This potentially is a different formulation as well, but hey ho, let's give it a smell. So you get that classic Dior Homme Iris, yeah, and some citrus, fresher take on Dior Homme. That's really good, that's really good. I'm a little bit peeved if it's different to the Eau de Toilette, if it comes in an Eau de Toilette concentration. I thought it did, thought it was an Eau de Toilette. I don't know what concentration this one says it is. Let's see if it says on the bottom. I think this is probably going to be a weaker concentration. Oh well, I'll give it a go, I'll keep it. Maybe I'll see if I can find the Eau de Toilette as well. Maybe it'll be interesting to compare this with the Eau de Toilette, but you know, when you get excited about making a purchase and you end up purchasing something, you know what, I'll have to check actually. I didn't think it was an aftershave lotion. I'll have to check on the order history to see if that's what I got, but that smells really nice. Dior Homme Eau. So I have the brother of this fragrance, and yes, this is definitely a spray, it says on the box. So Dior On Cologne.
Join the Scent Geeks every Monday as we podcast about all things fragrance. You'll find us anywhere you can usually find a podcast. Links are in the description below this video. See you there, geeks.
I like that bottle. Cool. A nice, clean, fresh take on the presentation. And the juice is kind of a misty, like a misty colour in there. All right, Dior On Cologne. Let me know, guys, if you have experience, if that aftershave splash lotion is different, if there's a Eau de Toilette formulation. Okay, so this immediately smells thicker and stronger. Does remind me of Dior Homme Sport, actually. Perhaps a bit more aquatic. I wonder if this is redundant, because it does remind me of Dior Homme Sport off the strip. Just wondering if it's redundant to have this one as well. Maybe I'll move one on if they're both too similar. We'll see. But it does remind me, it does make me think of Dior Homme Sport. But I'll try them on skin. I might have a different opinion, but it's lovely. I love Dior Homme Sport. I love the smell of this. I know George highly rates this and Eau. He's given them both 10 out of 10. And I do hear these talked about a lot as good, fresh summer fragrances. Dior Homme Cologne. And the last one is Versace Manne Eau Fraiche. Okay, this appears in all the top 10 summer lists. I got this in 100ml because it was cheap. 30 quid. I thought I'd go for the 100ml. Do remember smelling this in store maybe 2 years ago. I'm really enjoying it. Never got around to pulling the trigger. This also featured in George's list. I've just remembered he gave this one 10 out of 10 as well. So, hey, you know, maybe the Fragrance Apprentice is influencing my purchases a little bit here without me realizing it. He's an influencer. Okay, Versace Manne Fresh. Here we go. This instantly feels brighter and more citrusy than all the other fragrances. This makes me think of fresh fruit, sitting on a balcony on holiday, looking out at the blue ocean, having a bowl of fruit maybe, just get lovely fresh fruits from this. Don't really get a lot of depth, it feels quite light, but I'm sure there are some woods in here and they'll probably come out more in a dry down, more on skin. This just feels like something that is refreshing and invigorating to wear. Hot summer's day, maybe you're on holiday and you just want to spray something that smells good, but also it lifts you as well, and it has a cooling effect almost because it's those refreshing citrus accords. I think I'm happy. I like that. I think I've made some solid summer fragrance purchases here. I've just noticed there's a little extra surprise in the box. I didn't realise, but this is going to be a little exclusive for my channel. They put me in a sample of Dior On. I haven't smelled the new one yet. Shall I smell it? Shall I smell it now on camera for you? Or shall I save it for another video? I'll save it for another video. Oh, go on then. I'll smell it right now. I'll give you my first impressions on Dior On 2020. I'm assuming it's, yeah, it looks like the new, yeah, it is the new Dior On. So, I love the original. I don't own it. I do find it quite similar in terms of the iris to Dior On Intense, although obviously there are differences. But I've just always thought, do I need both? So I'm very familiar with that core iris DNA, which I believe is not present in this one. So let's have a little smell. Dior On 2020, here we go. It's not bad. Very different to the original Dior On, obviously without that iris in the heart. Strange that they went away from that. I'm sure they could have, if the natural resources of the iris that they were using had run out, I'm sure they could have had some kind of synthetic recreation or sourced it from somewhere else. But that's the signature scent of the Dior On line, isn't it? So it's really strange that they decided to go a different way with it. So it feels earthier and greener to me than the original. I like that. I don't think it's anything mind-blowing, but I think it's fairly solid. If they'd left Dior On as it was and they'd brought out a new addition to the Dior line, whether it was part of the Hon line or not, I think it would be okay. I think it's going a little bit powdery now. So I get that powderiness that you do get from the original Dior On. Smells like it on here anyway. I definitely get crossover. It's not a completely different fragrance. You don't get the iris, which is a big part of the original Dior On. But I think there are some other notes carried over from the original formulation to this one. I certainly detect a few similarities. That's all right. I was expecting it to be a little more generic and a little more boring than it is. Like I say, it's not mind-blowing, but fragrances don't always have to be mind-blowing. There's a place for very good, solid fragrances in our collections. I don't know if I like it enough to spend money on it at this stage. I'll try this sample on skin and see what I think. It's okay. I'm going to reserve judgment until I've tried it on skin. I don't like it as much as the original Dior On, but I love that because of the iris, which we don't have. Yeah, I just don't get why. I just don't get why it's changed. It's all right. It's all right. We'll see. Spend a little bit more time with that one. So there you go. A little extra Dior On first impressions on the video. Okay, so those are all the fragrances I've got in my haul. I think, other than the aftershave lotion of Dior On O, I'm really pleased with all the purchases. I am pleased with that one because it does smell great, and maybe it'll be nice to just get old school and get with the splash in, and maybe that's nice for summer anyway, just to splash a fragrance on. So we'll see how I go with that, but I'm really pleased with these purchases. I think they're solid additions to my collection. I know lots of you out there own these, so please do let me know what you think of these fragrances. Do you have a favourite out of these? Is it Versace Manne Fresh, or is it Dior On Cologne, or Prada Long Low? Let me know. But I'm really happy with those. I'm excited to start wearing them, and let's see how I get on with them, and I will report back once I've given these some good full wearings. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed the video, my little unboxing. I don't really do many of these. I've had this box sitting around now for about 3 days, and I've just not had chance to make a video because I wanted to wait and unbox it on video. So they've just been sat in the corner of the room just tempting me to open them, but I resisted until the video. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, keep tuning into FM and keep smelling good. Dog's barking. Really need to get a new studio or a new dog or an air rifle right in the buttocks. That'll shut him up. I wouldn't do that.